Welcome to another episode of the Cozy Cottage Crochet Podcast. My name is Hannah, and this is a podcast all about crochet, a little bit of knitting, sometimes sewing, and generally living the yarniest life possible in St. Petersburg, Florida, where I live. Happy last podcast of October. This is going to be, going live on Halloween, October 31st, right? Yeah, October 31st, because I'm recording this on Wednesday, but you won't see it until Saturday. Should I be wearing a Halloween costume? Yes. Have I planned enough in advance to be able to do that? No, I just got home from work literally seconds ago, and I am talking to you now. So I have a giant mound of stuff to talk about, and I'm really excited to be here with you again. Grab your favorite beverage, and we are just gonna jump right in. I have a giveaway winner to announce, because I forgot to announce this giveaway winner last episode. So the giveaway stayed open for an additional 2 weeks. It is for this crochet hook set. It's an ergonomic crochet hook set by Be Crafty. You can get these on Amazon, and they're so reasonably priced. So I was really happy to be able to review a set of these, especially because I love my clovers, and this is a much more affordable option. So the winner of this crochet hook set is post number 5, who is Nebula, and I believe your name is Joanna. You're also going to get a Wizarding Mal 2020 button, coveted. I only have like 2 of these left. So I have already sent you a message on Ravelry. So please respond to me with your full name and mailing address, and I will get that prize in the mail to you next week. Put that on the floor. If you are looking for me anywhere on the interweb, you can find me as The Cozy Cottage Crochet on Instagram, on Facebook. You can find me as The Cozy Cottage on Ravelry. We have a Ravelry group for this project linked directly down below. And if you have anything to tell me about the podcast specifically, please do shoot me an email. That is the best way to get a hold of me. My email address is thecozycottagecrochet@gmail.com. And it wouldn't be a Cozy Cottage Crochet podcast without me dropping something on the floor, now would it? I have already dropped some of my projects on the floor, and I had to lean over and get them. Now, I have some finished objects. I have some things that should be finished objects and are not. And so there's like 4 or 5 projects total, and I have some things to be. We have a bump date. So what I'm going to start with actually is, what am I wearing? Because I've been wearing this today. I was wearing blue to work, so I pulled out one of my favorite shawls. This is the Gemini shawl, which is a pattern by Kalisha of the Quirky Monday Craft Cast. And you work it in 2 halves, and you seam it really interestingly up the front. And I love this shawl. I very, very rarely test patterns because I'm not good with deadlines. And if you've been around a long time, you know this. But I begged her to let me test this shawl because I love it so much. And it's released. You should definitely buy this shawl. This is the Gemini shawl. And if you don't watch Kalisha of the Quirky Monday Craft Cast, why not? She's delightful. She's one of my favorite people of all time, and you definitely need to be watching her. So that's what I'm wearing. As far as finished object goes, I don't know if this counts as a finished object, but I did a little bit of mending. So I had 2 pairs of socks that have holes in them. And both of them were where the seam, like where I weaved in ends, which I was kind of annoyed by. So this one, I'm not sure I did a very good job. You can kind of see this little poofy part. I took some thread. This came undone, and I actually had to pick up stitches all the way around because it was a hole like my pinky toe could fit through. These socks have been worn quite a lot, so I'm not disappointed in that. But what I will say is I knit 19 pairs of socks in 2019, and as I progressed through my socks, I started leaving longer tails on the inside because I discovered that you can't really feel it. And once you leave a longer tail, like maybe a 1/2 inch or an inch, instead of trimming it off so close, it's much less likely to come undone. So I mended this. So these socks are fixed. And then the other pair of socks that I mended, these I'm less happy with. The mending itself is fine, which I will show you. I think I did a better job actually mending the hole. You can't see it all. It was a hole right here where I did the Fish Lips Kiss heel. This is Hobie yarn in their Happy Feet, And I would say it's comparable to Knit Picks Felici. Very soft. I loved knitting these. Not only did I love the color and the stripes, they flew off the needles. Like, they were so delightful to knit. However, this is a very slippery yarn. I would say even more slippery than Knit Picks Felici. It does pill. I only wore these like 3 times and I got a hole. So these have been sitting in my basket next to my bed for ages, literally ages. And actually I see already right here a spot that probably needs to be tuned up. You can kind of see right there. So irritating. So I was really upset that these came undone as quickly as they did. Luckily, it's not a hole in the yarn, so I'm not talking about the quality of the yarn itself. I think these are going to hold up just as well as Knit Picks Felici, but I've only worn these like 3 times. So I had some nylon thread. It's thicker than like sewing thread. It's like kind of nylon reinforcement thread, nylon and wool. And so I sewed this hole up with that so I can wash these and then wear them again. So that's 2 pairs of socks I've mended. This yarn, it might be Regia. I'm not sure. I don't remember what this yarn is. It's on my Ravelry project notes somewhere. This is definitely Hobie Yarn Happy Feet, which it's getting to be that time of year where I can wear hand knit socks again. Although I am boiling lava hot because I am pregnant. So maybe it won't be, I don't know. I've just been living in flip-flops. But pretty soon the baby will be here and then maybe I'll be cold again and I can wear hand knit socks. It hit 90 degrees Fahrenheit yesterday. Oh my gosh, that is really, I mean, I know it's Florida, but that is really hot for October. The rest of the country is getting like freezing temperatures. I have a friend in Wisconsin it's snowing there. We're at 90 degrees. So I don't know when the cold weather will be coming to us, but hopefully soon, because I'm so hot, even though the air conditioner is on. So let's talk finished objects. So that was some mending. I should say, while my husband is out of the house, he went off to do some Halloween thing. He has to get us some candy because we probably have some trick-or-treaters on Saturday, and a costume or whatever he's off doing. I have to finish his jacket. He has a favorite coat jacket, which I should have brought in here with me, but I didn't want him to see me pulling it out because he will be like, oh my God, are you finally fixing it? He gave me this jacket like 8 months ago, like before I got pregnant. It has a hole, like a rip straight across the elbow on one of the sides, and I have not fixed it. And it is his favorite jacket of all time. And I keep trying to think of ways to fix it with a sewing machine, and I just don't think it's possible. What I need to do is seam up the hole from the inside and then put another piece of gray fabric and do like that visible mending. I need to hand sew the visible mending and reinforce that whole elbow area on both elbows because this one's getting pretty thin. And then he has like a patch that he wants to put on top of it. I really need to do that. I meant to do it last night. I meant to like start on it or at least pull it out. It didn't happen. I've been meaning to do it for 8 months. Has it happened? No. And if I wait any longer, the baby will be here and it won't be done. And he'll feel like I don't love him, and I do. So I really, really need to work on that. So I'm telling you now, for accountability purposes, that had better be a work in progress. Next podcast episode, mending the hole in the jacket. Finished objects. I have 2, and then I have 2 that are like, should be finished, but are not. So the first one is actually back here. It is a blanket, and I made it out of Bernat Velvet yarn. This is the colorway Softened Blue, and so the velvet yarn is 100% polyester. You get 315 yards for 300 grams. I used 2.5 balls. So this may look like a full ball, but it is not. I was pulling from the middle. It's very smooshy inside. This is a pattern that I'm working on called the Cozy Up Blanket. I'm pretty sure that's what it's going to be called. And so this is the baby blanket size. I have it graded from like tiny, like even smaller than a baby blanket size, all the way up to king size. And I'm finished. Not only is it finished, all the ends are woven in, and it's washed with baby detergent. And it's not really blocked. I'm not gonna block a blanket. I just threw it in the washer and dryer. The one thing I will say is that with this type of yarn, and this is a pattern that I'm working on. I will very specifically put this in the pattern. You have to be careful when you wash this. I don't personally care because this blanket is going to be used by a baby and it's going to be in and out of the washer and dryer 100 times, probably 1,000 times. But with this type of yarn, like slippery yarn like this, polyester velvet yarn, if you put it in with a bunch of agitation and you throw it in the dryer, you will tend to get stuff like this. You see this little loop? I can almost stick my finger there. Now you can see it. There's another one around here like this one. See this loop? That's not because my crochet was bad. It's because that's the type of yarn this is. It just slips and it's called worming, which I find a ridiculous way, but to refer to that, but it's called worming. And if you just throw this in the washer and dryer, you will get worming on your thing. Like there's a few spots. You can see there's one down here where it's kind of poofing out a bit. There's a few different places. Like I said, don't care. This is going to be for a baby and it's going to be thrown in and out of the washing machine 100 times. So I don't care if it loops up, but if you want it to look pristine the way it did when you first made it, you will need to make sure that you wash this gentle cycle, 0 agitation. And then I would lay flat to dry, probably. Spin and then lay flat to dry. Don't put it in the dryer if you want to avoid having any little loops pop up. I personally think it's worth it because this yarn is so luxurious and delightful, and the texture is my favorite thing of all time. I have spent equal amounts of time petting this and working on it. The texture is all on one side. You can see that the back is pretty smooth and it smells so good. I know people say that that Dreft newborn laundry detergent is like a waste. You could just use unscented, free and clear or whatever, which is totally true, except I love how it smells. So that is what this got washed in. And I'm just delighted with this blanket. It's so soft, so cozy. It's gonna be so warm, and it's perfect because the baby will be born in December most likely. And then in January is our cold month. So this will be, fuzz in the eye. This will be the blanket that probably goes with the baby places in the car seat anytime we're out. So I will put a note in the pattern about how to care for this yarn. Of course, you don't have to use this yarn to make this blanket. You could make it in any. It's probably a bulky weight yarn. You can make this stitch pattern in any yarn. It doesn't have to be velvet. But if you're making this in velvet, you may want to just care for it a little more gently to avoid worming issues. So I have to write up the pattern. The pattern has already been graded. I've graded it into all the sizes, but my life. I just feel so busy and a little overwhelmed by everything. So the fuzz is still in my eye. I don't know when this will be coming. Look, there's a loop right there. That's the one I showed you earlier. But I will try to get this out soon because it's a really simple, easy pattern, and I think it'll be perfect. So that is my finished object number 1, which I'm going to do. You don't know what a big score that was. The crib is like over there, and I just tossed it into the crib with one hand. Champion. That's finished object number 1. Finished object number 2 was living in my Feminist Knit Club bag, which is a bag that I got after many months, probably more than a year, of stalking her website and wanting one. What I have made is the Kinsey kimono, which is a pattern by Lakeside Loops. It's a worsted weight kind of kimono style boxy cardigan pattern. And I've had this pattern for a long time in my queue. I'm not going to make one for myself. I've decided. It's just too much. But I thought this would be so cute for a baby. And I had 4 balls of Yarn Lane Capri that was sent to me by a lovely viewer of this podcast. It's Capri loops and threads. So I had 200 grams, 87 yards per 50 grams, and it's the colorway pink. So this is how much I have left. I have 1 little ball that got frogged. I have this Nope, that's part of that. This much, so maybe 10 grams. I have complained about this before. It's not the pattern's fault. I don't know what was wrong with me, honestly. I just could not seem to get a handle on this pattern. You make it in 2 pieces. You make the right piece and the left piece, and then you seam up the back and you seam up the sides. The first piece, I went too long. Like I did too many rows of the pattern portion and had to rip it out and redo it. And then the second piece, I did the right number of rows for the patterning portion, and then for some reason did 3 extra rows before the sleeve. Blame it on pregnancy brain, but this is the only project I keep having to frog. So I finally, in the last 2 weeks, worked up the nerve to rip out the 3 extra rows and the sleeve and redo it. So it was worth it because it's so cute. I love it. It's not going to fit her for a very long time. She'll probably be like 2 years old before this will fit. This is the smallest size. So you can see it's just really, really cute. You make it in 2 pieces. The pattern calls for like a slip stitch join on the back. I actually did mattress stitch because I think it disappears. And I did mattress stitch here as well on the sides. Mattress stitched everything, and it's really, really cute. I'm really, really happy with it, and I need to take a photo and put it on Ravelry because then it will be finished. And the only thing I will say is this yarn is like polyester, but it said to hand wash. So I was like, whatever. I've made other baby stuff and I need to block some things, so I just went ahead and hand washed it. At some point, I can pretty much guarantee you this is going to get thrown in the washing machine. So I hope it survives. But that's what it looks like. It was worth it. I love the pattern, and I think she's just going to look adorable in it. I could see my niece is 18 months old, and I think this would even be honestly like slightly too big for her. That's why I say maybe it's 2-year size. So that's finished object number 2. Now, I have 2 more projects to discuss, both of which should be done and are not, but they're very, very close to being done. So the first one, it's not finished because it doesn't have buttons. And of course, what I am talking about is the Gramps cardigan, the baby Gramps cardigan that I am making to match the one that I made my husband last year. He wants to match. So this is a pattern, a paid for pattern by Tin Can Knits. Highly recommend. It's just a delightful pattern. And I will show you the yarn I was using. So I have Valley Yarn Superwash DK in the colorway navy, I'm pretty sure, and gray. I ordered 1 extra ball of navy because I had like a ball and a half left, and I'm glad I did because this is what I have left. That would not be a full ball. I think maybe this is like 10-20 grams of blue yarn. And then I had gray. I had 1.5 balls of gray, and this is all the gray. I have a whole ball plus this of gray left. It's done, except it doesn't have any buttons. Now, does it? No, and it should have buttons because I went to Joann's on Monday night specifically to get buttons for this and one other project, and I got buttons. This has 5 buttonholes, so I got 6 buttons, and last night I sat down to sew them on, and 2 of the buttons were smaller than the other buttons. Like, I don't know what I was thinking. I guess I didn't look well enough. 2 of the buttons are completely different. Like, it's not like there's a variation in size. These are different buttons. So I have to go back to Joann's and return these buttons and hope they have 2 more of the original buttons, or return all 6 buttons and get 6 new buttons. I was so irritated last night when I sat down, because I sat down and I was like, yes, this is going to be done for the podcast tomorrow. I sat down, I marked, this is where I'm sewing the buttons, where all these little stitch markers are, and I definitely stitch markered it to the back. But now I couldn't do it. I was like, you have got to be kidding me. Are you serious? Anyways, it's done. The knitting is done. It is washed. It is blocked. I just soaked it in some soak, and then I laid it flat to dry, just like I did with my husband's cardigan. It's so delightfully soft. I love the Valley Yarn Superwash DK. So I did the collar. I am still not 100% sure, you can see right here, that I'm doing wrap and turns correctly. I just am not quite positive that that's right, but who cares? It's for a baby. And then I did pockets. This right here is like 1 stitch off. So that kind of bothers me a little bit, but not enough to unweave the ends and sew it down 1 stitch higher so it'll match this. It's for a baby, like I said. So I don't think from back here anyone's gonna be able to tell that that pocket is not quite even. It's just, my husband's really happy. He's really happy that this is almost done. And he shared in my frustration last night when the buttons were not what they were supposed to be, which is eternally sad. So I have to go back. I'm probably not going to get back to Joann's until Saturday. And then I will have to finish this cardigan, but the baby Gramps cardigan is almost done. So I'm going to have to show it to you again in the next podcast episode when it's finished. So progress. The last project that I had been working on, again, would have been done if I could just get it together. It's the Tunisian crochet project that I was talking about in the last podcast episode that I have not picked up in quite a while. I actually cast this off today during my lunch break at work. So if I could have figured out the buttonhole better, faster, then this would have been done already. And I was really planning on having it done, but I had some problems with the buttonhole. So this is Attic Spin Dye yarn in the colorway Vibrant Iris, which is just a delightful colorway of theirs. Love it so much. They were generous enough, Andy and Angela, to send me this yarn, and I love it, of course. Here's their tag. Attic Spin Dye. You should definitely check them out because their yarn is delightful and it's very reasonably priced, and it's hand dyed, and it's 75/25 merino nylon, 425 meters for 100 grams. I have used 1.5 balls to make this. So this is where I was last time. So I've done all of that. And then this is where I got stuck. And it's taken me 4 days to figure out how I wanted these to be. So you can see these holes. These are buttonholes. And it took me a while to figure out the math. And then once I figured out the math, I have to take this off. I'm getting too hot. Because, baby, y'all, I just am overheating like nobody's business. Once I figured out the math, the buttonhole wasn't working properly. And then once I figured out the buttonhole, the math wasn't working properly. And it, just one of those weeks. So I finally figured it out today. And you can see the buttonholes. And it's basically going to be like these. I can't really show you, but it's going to be a loop cowl. Whoa, exciting hair. So it'll go around twice and then it will button. And these are the buttons that I bought, which don't exactly go, but I really like them. So I think what I'm going to do, my plan, is to soak this, perhaps tomorrow, definitely before the next podcast episode. I will soak this Tunisian crochet cowl project and lay it flat to dry because, of course, now this doesn't curl as much as regular Tunisian crochet. It's only curling a little bit at the end, but once I pin this out and lay it flat to dry, it will quit curling. Tunisian crochet does curl quite a bit. And then I am going to sew on the buttons, and then it will be done. So it's almost done. Almost. Story of my life this week. These are a close-up of the buttons. These are, I'm pretty sure they're plastic. They just look like wood. So those will be sewn down. Next time, I have a lot of buttons to do. 5 buttons on that cardigan, 4 buttons on the cowl. I have to write up the blanket pattern. I have to write up the cowl pattern for the Tunisian crochet. I have to take photos of the spiral up cowl that I showed last podcast episode, the neon cowl, and get it out to testers. There's just so much to do and so little time, and I don't know how any of this is going to get done, and I'm trying to take it easy. But, you know, this is what happens. It's almost Halloween, and then my brother's getting married, and then it's Thanksgiving, and then the baby will be here, and then it's Christmas. The end of the year is going to go by so fast. I am going to show you a few to-be projects. Now, I typically don't do that, but I'm getting whip anxiety. Now, what I mean by that is most people have whip anxiety when they have too many works in progress, but that's 4 projects that are done or almost done. That is going to leave me with a whopping total of 1 design in progress that is on hiatus because I can't figure it out, and 3 cardigan patterns. Not 3 cardigan patterns, but 3 cardigan works in progress. One of them is a pattern. One of them is my Skyrim cardigan, which I have not touched in 2 weeks because I can really only have 1 knitting project on the go at a time, and that I wanted to get the baby cardigan finished. And then the Chelsea cardigan, it's a crochet pattern by Vicky Chan, which is like barely started. So 3 cardigan patterns. That's the only whips that I will have as soon as those buttons are sewed down. So that's giving me a little bit of anxiety. I feel like I need more projects on the go so I can switch between them. Although I have been feeling overwhelmed by the thought of starting a new project as well. It's just a lot, I guess, a lot all around. So I have a few things that will likely be coming down the pike. The first one is I was thinking perhaps that I want to make something for my niece for Christmas. I don't know if it's possible for me to get this done in time. I think it will. My original thought was to make this, which is the Jupiter the Unicorn pattern. This is a unicorn that I've made twice now for 2 people, and it's very cute. This used to be a pattern that you could only buy on Etsy, but I do believe it's available on Ravelry now as well. However, like I said, she's only 1.5 years, and I'm a little concerned about the hair and things like that. So I'm like, maybe this would be a good present for next year when she's a little bit older. So I found another pattern that I think will be just a little bit safer, and it is the Marine, Adeline, or Amelie and Candace doll pattern. So I got this pattern on Etsy from Doo Toy Factory. Right here. This is where I got it from. So it has all kinds of different hair options. There's this one, and if you notice, there's no strings hanging off. Everything on this doll is attached securely to the doll and does not come off. So I think that that will be a little safer for her. I have not looked in my stash of acrylic. I know my stash of acrylic has gotten a lot smaller recently. Here's another photo to see what kind of yarn I could make this out of. But I think this would be really cute. And you can see all of these variations. So like wearing pants, wearing a skirt, that's all worked into the body itself. Ooh! Just adorable. So I'm gonna try, I'm gonna try and make this doll for my niece for Christmas. We'll see. The pattern is, you can only get this on Etsy. I think I said that. It's not available on Ravelry. So that is coming down the pike. I think that I will make that for her. And a special thank you to Kelly, who is Kelly and etc. on Instagram, who sent me that pattern and said it was her favorite doll pattern. Because I really wanted a good sized doll pattern, not like a itty bitty one, because she's 18 months old. She wants something to hold, something tough. And I didn't want it to be too fiddly. I also found this, and I'm thinking this is definitely not going to happen for Christmas, but since my husband's out of the house right now, I'm going to show it to you anyways. It's not gonna happen for Christmas, but maybe I can get this done for his birthday in March. If you hate clowns, look away. Look at that. I found this on Ravelry while I was looking for doll patterns. My husband is a huge horror movie fan. I personally hate horror movies. I won't watch them. They affect me way too much, get way too emotional. I can't handle it. But he saw this and loved this movie. And I think that this pattern is incredible. Can you see from looking at this how much finishing this is going to take? Oh my word, it's going to take so much finishing. So I don't think this is going to be done for Christmas, but I think I do want to make it for him, maybe for his birthday in March. I got this pattern on Ravelry. It's Pennywise by Allison Hoffman, craftyiscool.com. So yeah, creepy. Here is another picture. Yikes. He would definitely put this like in his office. So I'm gonna hide that. Put that face down in case he comes home, and then hide it somewhere. Because I do think I want to make it for him. The other thing that is coming down the pike is I want to have a knitting project ready to go in the bag that I packed to take to the hospital. Now I have not packed my hospital bag yet. I need to do that, I think, just in case the baby comes early. We're about 6.5 weeks away. So I need to pack that. I may not knit a single stitch while I am in labor and delivery or in the hospital. But I can tell you that not having a project packed will give me anxiety. So I am trying to plan a project that will only be knitting in the round. No thinking whatsoever, just knitting in the round. That way, if labor takes a really long time, maybe I can knit a little bit. Maybe this is a pipe dream. While we're still in the hospital, I can knit a little bit. I just want to have something set up, ready to go. I don't want to count, etc. So I have 2 things that I will be working on. The first is I'm going to start a pair of socks. I went into my stash last night and pulled out some Knit Picks Felici that I have been hoarding for quite some time. This is Spring Blooms. And if you don't know, Knit Picks Felici is a self-striping colorway. I love working on it. I have several pairs of socks made in this yarn in different colorways. And it's been a while since I've knit a pair of socks. So my Knit Picks Felici stash is getting really low. I have these 2. I have 2, another set of 2, and 1 more. Yikes, you guys. So I think I'm going to, it's been like a year since I've knit a pair of socks toe up, but I really want to do a heel flap and gusset and make these longer socks and use like quite a bit of this yarn. So I think my plan is to start them toe up, get them past the toe onto a 9-inch circular, both of them. That way I'll just have knitting around and around on the foot. And then whenever I do the heel flap and gusset, I will have brain power, hopefully. I know you can do a heel flap and gusset on top down, cuff down socks, but I prefer to do a heel flap and gusset going up because then I don't have to pick up any stitches. Just gross. So that is project number 1 that I will hopefully be starting soon. And project number 2 is I'm going to cast on a sockhead hat because that will just be miles of stockinette. So I have made the sockhead hat before. This is my sockhead. I love this hat. This hat has been with me all around the world. It's been to the UK. It's been several places in America. This is the hat that I reach for the most. This is Moon Tower Dye Works yarn. It's a one-of-a-kind skein, and I am here for it. I first of all, love a slouchy hat. I love this yarn. I love the pattern. I love everything about it. I wish it was colder so that I could wear it because it's a little too hot. It looks like a balloon when you take it off. I also had a small crisis because, of course, I have this project page on Ravelry from like 2018 when I made it. Did I put what needles I used? No. Did I put what size I made? No. Luckily, somebody asked me on Instagram when I posted this what size needles I used, and I commented and said, so I was able to figure out that I did use a smaller size needle for the brim of the ribbing than the hat itself. And then I talked about it in my podcast, so I went back. Did I mention what size it was? No. But I did mention how many stitches I had cast on. So I was able to determine that it was a medium of the hat pattern that I cast on 144 stitches. So this is the one I already have. This is the sockhead hat pattern, and this is a free pattern, so I'm not giving anything away. It's by Kelly McClure. Everybody usually knows about the sockhead hat pattern. You can make it more or less slouchy if you want. I made it super slouchy. I did 4 inches and then all the way to 11 inches or something of hat. I love that hat. So I'm gonna cast on another one. And I'm thinking I'm gonna use this yarn. This is a skein of yarn that I've been hoarding. I have a little trunk that's like a Harry Potter trunk that my husband got me a few Christmases ago, and it houses my most special skeins of yarn. This is Mitchell's Creations. I got this as part of the Get Your Yarn Wishes granting campaign, I think 2 years ago. It's 75% merino, 25% nylon, 463 yards in the colorway Paradise Lost. It is gorgeous. I'm a little concerned it might pool, but I think I would be more concerned it would pull in socks than something this big. So I need to skein this up. I need to cast on 144 stitches. I need to get through 4 inches of ribbing before the hospital arrives to me, or I arrive to the hospital, and then I will have literally like 9 inches of stockinette to go. So that's why I'm gonna start the socks, I think, first, just in case the baby comes early. I'll have that project ready to go, but this is the one I would really like to put in my hospital bag. So yeah, that's a lot of to be. We normally don't talk about to be. And I also have a plethora, a pile, if you will, of Happy Mail that came in completely, most of it unexpectedly. So one of the things that came in was from a lovely person. I'm just gonna say your initials, JL. And she sent me something off of our baby registry, which is a universal cup holder. This attaches to the stroller, and I am really, really excited about this because it's insulated, and I always like to have water with me, and I usually have this cup, which is very top heavy. It's a cup from Starbucks. I like it because it has a straw, and I always want to use a straw, and this is definitely going to be attached to the stroller so that I can have water all the time and it doesn't condensate all over everything. And so thank you so much for that. And then this also came. This is from Kalisha, who I've already mentioned, but it's muslin blankets. Look, it's pandas. I love, you can never have too many muslin blankets, ever. Never have too many muslin blankets when you have a baby. So thank you so much, Kalisha. That was so nice of you. And I am very excited to take these out of their package. They came last night. And I'm very excited to have this baby use them. The rest of it, I don't even know where to begin. So it's all pretty much at least tangentially related to the baby. So we might as well move on to the bump date. And the bump date is, I'm gonna put my water on the floor and try to stand up without knocking anything over. This is the bump. It's awfully big. I am officially 33 weeks pregnant. By the time you see this, it'll be the first day of the 34th week. So we'll be like 6 weeks away from having a baby. Probably 6 weeks, 7 weeks max, maybe even 4 or 5 weeks if the baby comes a little early. So that means like 2 more bump dates, 3 more bump dates after this. I will be taking, let's just talk about this for a second. I will be taking a small hiatus after the baby is born, probably until January. If the baby comes at the beginning of December, I'm going to take at least a month off from the podcast. I will do my best to come on here and tell you and show you the baby and let you know that I am okay. So, but whenever the baby comes, I will be taking a little bit of time off of that, probably because I'll be a zombie. So, but don't have any fear. My plan is to continue podcasting as often as possible. I'd like to keep to my 2-week schedule. Everything, of course, will be upside down in the world, in my world, and will be brand new for me. But my goal is to, of course, keep podcasting on a regular schedule that you can expect, because this is one of my favorite things to do. So this, you may have noticed, my baby shower was Saturday a few days ago, and it was just so delightful. I will say it was a lot of peopling because there was several people at my house, and it was more peopling than I've done since the beginning of the year, because everyone's been on lockdown and quarantine and social distancing and all of that. So I was exhausted afterwards. I get some just really cute, adorable things. So happy, so lovely to see everyone. I only cried a little bit. I tried to keep it together. But this I wanted to show you specifically because my best friend made this, and she is a sewist. And as you can see, it's a Minnie Mouse. It's quite a big quilt. This is folded. but my favorite part is actually the back, which is all sunglasses. I really, really, really like this, and it's gorgeous, and I've already washed it, and it smells delightful, and I can't wait for this baby to come in so we can use it. So that was just so special to open that. Also, they're completely buried. They're in the closet, and I can't even get to the closet because of all the stuff that is in front of the closet. But my lovely friend Maria, who is Fat Bunny Yarn, brought a set of crocheted vegetables. There's like an eggplant and a beet and a carrot, and they're so adorable. I'm sure you'll see them at some point. I think they're like little squishy toys. So delightful. So, in no particular order, here is some happy mail. I haven't even had a chance to say thank you to everyone who sent this yet because most of this showed up yesterday. And I was a little like, whoa, when I came home. This is from a lovely person named Arlene who sent these little barrettes. They're little butterfly barrettes. So cute. And I'm pretty sure that this is handmade. It's a handmade burp cloth. It's super soft, so that is delightful. And then it came with daughter and daddy, a daddy shirt and a daughter onesie, which it's just so cute. Thank you so much, Arlene. I'm gonna write you a message and say thank you as well. Ooh, I'm at the point where bending over causes me not to be able to breathe at all. It cuts off all air circulation to my body. So that was really, really sweet. Thank you, Arlene. And it was fun to get something for my husband because, you know, all the cutesy stuff is like for me and the baby. But he got some cutesy stuff as well. Then this came in the mail. This came all the way, sorry for the crackling, from the UK. This is from a lovely person named Natalie. I haven't had a chance to say thank you to you yet, Natalie, either, because this came yesterday. She made a lovely card, and there's a pen. But what she sent is, if I can get it out, a baby record book. So in here, woo, I almost made such a huge crash and dropped everything on my lap. It's all kinds of baby milestones that you can record, and like toddler, firsts, sleeping, all kinds of, it's just so sweet and so special, and it's a delightful gift. That was really, really delightful. So thank you so much, Natalie. And she sent a lovely pen to use with it. That was very, very, very sweet of you. And then this came from Portugal, which all these packages from all over the world. I knew that something was coming. This is from a lovely viewer of this podcast named Bruna. And I knew something was coming, but I was like completely blown away when I opened the package. I'm going to show you this in a second. So there's some Mia Rosarios number 4 Mia yarn. This is a fingering weight yarn it's 70% wool, 30% nylon. It says it's number 2, but I do not think this is a sport weight. I think this is fingering weight yarn. I don't know what color it is, but there's 4 of these, and I just love this yarn. Like, I really love it. But wait, there's more. She sent a lovely little card and a little notebook. So cute. Sorry for the rustling. And there's also a baby hat, which will be perfect because the baby will be born when it's cold. Actually, I could wear this hat. I will probably give this to the baby next year because the baby will have a big head. There, and she sent 2 skeins of this spectrum fiber. I have never seen yarn like this. Like, it's not so much thick and thin as it is spun and then unspun. It's called Love Hearts Bobble. You get 400 meters. It's 90% merino, 10% nylon, and it's from Spectrum Fiber, and it's gorgeous. I don't even know, like, I feel like this would make such a fun shawl. I don't know. I really, really like it. But there was one more thing in that box. And it is a cardigan. It is the Kinsey kimono, which I said I decided not to make one for myself. But she wrote me and said she made a bunch of them several years ago and never wore this one. And so she sent it to me and it fits perfectly. I can't really show you very well because I'm too close to the camera, but it's delightful. Like it's perfect. It's gonna fit perfectly in my wardrobe. I can't wait to have this baby out so I can wear my normal clothes again, or at least just like pants. So you can see this is what a full-sized Kinsey kimono looks like. I can't believe she sent me an entire cardigan. Thank you so much. I already wrote you a long message about how much I appreciate this. I can promise you I will wear that. I love a good loose flowy cardigan. That's 100% my style. Then this just showed up as well. This is from a lovely viewer and I will show you. She sent a really, really lovely card. So cute. And it's from Camilla and Darren. And actually, these were in there as well. They're little handmade baby washcloths, but I've already washed them and put them with baby stuff, so I had to dig them out again. She sent some lovely little barrettes that she made. There's some baby yarn. And then these, I'm gonna set this over here. Oof. Ooh. Dropping it, of course. There's 3 of these, one of which is for me and 2 of which are for giveaways. So she makes these little adorable bees. So cute. And stitch markers, which are really special. So there's a blue bee, a pink bee, and a yellow bee. I think I'm probably, there's the yellow bee. I'm probably gonna keep the pink bee because pink is my favorite. This is her card, Naughty Camilla Creates. I'll put this right here. Hopefully you can see. She has an Etsy shop as well. Actually, she has a website, myshopify.com. So not Etsy. They do jewelry and dolls and all kinds of things. So very, very sweet of you. Thank you. That just arrived. And then the last thing arrived, this giant box last night. I knew that, again, something was coming, but I had no idea this was coming. This is from Janet Heathcliff, who is one of my patrons and a lovely, lovely person. She sent a very, very sweet card. And so we're just gonna pull things out because there's all kinds of stuff in here. There is, this is from the UK, loads of chews, which I almost broke into last night when this showed up, but I didn't. I waited to podcast. I'm definitely gonna be eating some of these tonight. There is it feels like 5 pounds of chocolate. Cadbury Dairy Milk. There's a regular one, and then there's the jelly popping candy one. So there's 2 giant chocolate bars. There is a baby book called Each Peach Pear Plum, which she said was her favorite book with her kids. Oh, so special. This is super cool. This is a tag pad, so you can color these and then use them as gift tags, which I think is so special. And a little coloring book that came with it. I think this is a set. There is a Hufflepuff bib, because I am a Hufflepuff. Can never have too many baby bibs, that is for sure. And a Hufflepuff onesie. This is the size 0 to 3 months, so we'll fit the baby pretty immediately. There's a little bit of extra yarn because there's some handmade baby things. Look at how cute this is. OMG, so cute. So there's that one that's really small. Then there's this one that's bigger. Then there's a baby hat. And then there's baby booties. It's like a whole set of things. So tiny, medium, baby booties, baby hat, and baby blanket, which this is really, really, really soft and really gorgeous. So this baby is just beyond spoiled, and so am I. But there's more. There's more. There is. This is so funny. 2 cans of Bisto gravy mix. And when this baby is out of my body and I can eat chicken again, you had better believe I'm gonna be making some things with that. There is 5 of these. This is Knitco Fashion Knitting Yarn. It's 100 grams and it says 100% miscellaneous fibers, which I think is the funniest description on a yarn I've ever seen. It does not have a color or dye lot, but I'm pretty sure it also does not tell you how many yards, but I'm pretty sure this is fingering, and I could probably get a whole sweater out of this. 500 grams fingering weight yarn. I think so. I have to do a little swatching to see how it will work up, but I really like it. There was a button tin full. There's some really lovely teas. Strawberry shortcake, caramel apple, blueberry muffin. And in here, I'm gonna just tip it so you can see. All of these are little bags of handmade stitch markers. I cannot believe there's so many. So I'm gonna pick out a couple and then I'll be using these for giveaways. This I think is probably gonna have to stay with me, although maybe I can be talked into parting with it. It's a sheep pin. A mama and a baby sheep pin. So cute. There is a little box that is full of, and I'm gonna try and show you all of these because I cannot believe, I've never seen so many yarn related enamel pins. There is a tape measure. This lovely lady. This one that says yarn squisher. This sheep, which so cute. I do actually, someone had gifted me this sheep before, so this one will be going in the giveaway pile, even though, could I keep 2 sheep? 100% yes, but I will not be greedy. This one says mischief managed. This one says maker. This is a sock. This one I think is gonna have to go on my sock bag. This one says crochet queen. There is yarn balls. Cute. This one says knit happens. There's one that says you are safe with me, which I really like that. That's really special sentiment. This is like a crochet donut. Very cute. This one says treat people with kindness. And then the last one says love, and it's a Harry Potter one. Where did you get all these pins? That's so crazy. So I will go through and pick out a few special ones, and then I will do my best. I hope I didn't just shake the camera all over the place. I will do my best to share the love and not be selfish, even though I have been apparently spoiled completely rotten by all of you. The most special thing in the box was something that's going on the wall in here. In fact, it may go like right here, somewhere in this room. Look at this. This is, she made this. This is handmade. And it says the Cozy Cottage Crochet. And I pulled it out of the box and I was like, you've got to be kidding me. Like, I would never have the patience to do that. It is absolutely gorgeous. Like, beyond gorgeous. It's so pretty. So I can't believe you sent that. I can't believe you spent all that time and you sent that to me. My mind is blown. I feel spoiled rotten, honestly. Y'all are so delightful. Thank you. Times 100 million. Thank you, thank you, thank you. What a world. What a life. I'm in love. Okay, I'm gonna stop channeling Frank Sinatra. I just am really, really happy, and despite the fact that I am ready for this baby to be out of my body, I'm enjoying the little moments that I have left, which there's not very many of them, as just a person with no baby attached to her. And as hard as it is to sleep, I'm enjoying, you know, only being woken up to go to the bathroom, not by crying. as much as the nausea sucks all the time, I'm enjoying being able to eat food when it's hot and watch TV and sit with my husband and all the things that maybe will change a little bit after the baby is born. So I'm trying to enjoy and make the most out of every moment that I can before the baby comes. I'm really, really hopeful that the baby will stay in until December 1st. And then any time would be fine. December 2nd would be great to have the baby. That would be a few days early. And yeah, there's a lot to be done. I've got to clean up this room. I've got to go through all the baby stuff and baby clothes and wash it all and organize it by size and get some semblance of organization going on in the corner behind this. It's just such a mess in here. But the crib is built, so I gotta pack a hospital bag. I gotta do a lot of stuff. But most importantly, I just need to be calm and relax. Everything will happen. It will be fine. So happy Halloween if you're celebrating. Sorry I did not dress up this year, maybe next year. And happy first day of November tomorrow. Leave me a comment below. Let me know what you're working on. Tell me your tales of woe if you have any, or your tales of excitement if you're not frogging anything. I will hopefully have those projects finished by next time. And a little bit of progress on the Skyrim cardigan, because it still is my goal to have it joined under the arms before the baby comes so that I can just have straight knitting. If you like this video, give it a thumbs up. That just helps me know and YouTube know that I'm putting out some content that's worth watching. You can also subscribe. I post an episode every 2 weeks on this channel on Saturday mornings. So it'll be the second Saturday in November will be the next episode. We have all kinds of make-alongs going on right now. I know I didn't touch on them at all, but next time, we'll talk about them next time. And I'm sending you all a huge virtual hug. I feel very blessed, very spoiled, and currently very hungry. So I'm going to sign off and go eat some food. And until I see you again, be kind to yourself, stay warm if you're in a cold place, and happy crafting! Bye!